Have you joining me this morning for our 10 minutes of morning calm. And we are back in the Philadelphia area today. So great to have you around as we continue on taking a look at this beautiful, beautiful part of the Bible. And it's a part of where we start to understand a promise. It's understanding God's promise. What is it to us? How does what sometimes can feel like a life of faith that is just a shell, how does it get infilled and feel like this place of sort of passion, energy, and the word I was thinking about this morning, playfulness. I mean, that's spirituality needs to have a playfulness to it. Quote, say many times, I've said it on here many times, most people know just enough religion to make them miserable. And we have to reach a point where we see this playfulness. We experience it and we see what God's doing in our lives. And we start to see as well, not only what God is doing, but what God has done. And that's what we're looking at here. And it's an interesting part of the story. So Abram is brought out of this land. God promises him a new land, promises him heirs. And this is the part of the Bible in Genesis where he's talking about the promise. And then God instantly reminds him of this with this beautiful line, who brought you out of Ur of the Chaldeans. Now that may sound very dated and like, what is that about? Well, it's just that idea that God's saying like, look, I brought you out of this place. I brought you out of this place where you were, and I'm moving you into this place that you will be. And I think, again, we can look at that as I think we're supposed to, just with a smile and just like, oh yeah, that's what God does. God is consistently offering us this thing moving forward, this bigger bet, um, this promise. And at the same time, we can look back and go like, oh, I'm glad it's not that way, the way it used to be. And I know yesterday I was talking with Susan about that. And it's just interesting being older. I'm 59 years old now. And just how many things shift as you reach those middle years. And again, for those of you who are much younger than that, or those who are much older, I mean, I'm sure those who are much older will be, yeah, wait till you see what's coming, because it's going to shift a lot of your perspectives. And I think say that with a smile. And I imagine for those people who are younger, there's like, oh yeah, that could be kind of interesting to see. And we really do. We start to see, as this line say, yeah, God brought me out of a certain place. And I know for me that, a lot of that place was so rule bound, and it was so, I don't know, not the rules are bad things, but I had a swimmer a number of years ago who gave to me, returned to me this document that I'd given swimmers. I used to coach swimming at a public high school when I was a public school teacher. Gave me this document that I gave the kids on the first day. And it was just like, oh my goodness. It was just like, bang, bang, bang. If you do this, this is the consequence. This is the consequence. Just really, really sort of draconian. And I had a lot of success with that. It worked, but it also isn't. That's not where I am anymore. Like I feel that was then. This is now, and I feel like in a way God's brought life to just a new place. And again, I think of that whole life shifting. I think we all do. It doesn't make the place where we were from bad and wrong. What it starts to do for us is give us a sense of like, and here's where I am today. This is where I was, and here's where I am today. And when we can start to do that with a sense of gratitude, boy, that makes a big difference. I'm going to parrot here a phrase, that I heard over the weekend, which is, the two great commandments: loving the Lord your God, loving your neighbor. And how do you do that? Well, you love your neighbor by serving, and you love God by being grateful. So love that idea of service and gratitude. You want to know how to practice the two great commandments: love the Lord, love your neighbor, is serve and be grateful. And we can be grateful for these parts of the journey. And oftentimes they're filled with a lot of hard parts that kind of shake us up. And yet again and again seeing like, oh yeah, move to a new place. And it's yeah, that's not always easy. It's not like it's not like going on vacation to a new place. It's like, oh yeah, we moved to this new place, and for some reason our souls deepen. It's very hard to describe. Our souls deepen. We have a greater sense of just the beauty and the occasional really hard times, and just again coming back and again to the deep gratitude around the fact that we get to do life. And that is a beautiful gift. We get to do life. How good is that? So there's your thought for today, folks. And may that thought bring you out of worry. May you be brought out of worry. May you look back and see how God has brought you out of worry into a new form of freedom. So with that, friends, what we're going to do is now we're going to take a little breath, a little meditation, a little prayer, a little blessing, and then we'll say hi to folks on social media. So with that, dear friends, let's get a little breath and a prayer bell. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am. Be still and know that I. Be still and know that. Be still and know. Be still and. Be still. Be. Our Father, who art in the heavens, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, as in heaven, so upon the earth. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we also forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord make his face to shine upon you and be gracious unto you. May the Lord lift up his countenance upon you, bring you peace, and bring you home. Amen. All right, dear friends, a quick little cheery hello to folks. And again, I hope you all had a wonderful weekend. It's nice to be back home with friends and family. And good stuff. All right, one comment there. Linda, good morning. I hope you're doing well this fine morning. And Sherry writes, good morning, and good morning to you, Sherry. And the other Sherry, life and moments you have to come to are sometimes paths that you get to experience. When you look back on them, you see the lesson you were gifted. I totally agree with that. I mean, I think that much better says what I was trying to say, actually. It's like we see the past, and we see them in the rear view mirror of sorts. We see them looking back. We don't see them when we're on there, but it's like, oh yeah, this was really a journey, and the journey had good parts, bad parts, boring parts, exciting parts. It had it all, and we're just in a new place now. So that's beautifully said. Thank you for sharing that. And folks, wishing you all the very best. God bless. May you have a wonderful rest of your week, and we will see you again tomorrow. Take care.